The Saints could be a playoff team, and I'll tell you why. But before that, less than 1% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, and it would mean the world if you went down below and hit that sub button. And also, let me know down in the comments below who you want me to rebuild next, and I'll feature your comment in that video. And also, let's try to get this video to 10 likes. But let's get into why the Saints could be a playoff team. The Saints decided to sign Derek Carr in free agency for $150 million for 4 years. And they have a pretty good receiving core if Michael Thomas can stay healthy. And obviously they have Alvin Kamara, who's able to just be a really good running back for them. And they also got Jamal Williams. So I think really on the offense, you got to upgrade the wide receiver a little bit. Right guard, most definitely, and then tight end, you definitely need to get an upgrade for. But defensively, they have a lot of good players on this team. You obviously need to look for like outside linebackers and upgrades on the D-line. But they got Bryan Bresee in the draft, and Marshawn Lattimore has always been a really good corner. And they have a couple guys with star development. I don't really know how they develop in Madden normally, but hopefully they can develop for us. They have Tyrann Mathieu, who they signed in free agency, if I'm not mistaken, and Marcus May as well, who I don't remember when they got him, but it may have been this year. So this team is definitely really good, but let's sim to the midseason mark of the first season and see where they're at. We are 3-4, which is better than I expected us to be. I don't know what there is to do at the midseason mark other than to see what this upgrade at quarterback could be. Is Derek Carr going to go up to superstar maybe? It's going to be hard to do, but hopefully he gets there. I mean, that would be nice to get. And then we are going to negotiate with players. I'm going to start doing my scouting. And we have a couple players we need to re-sign here. Michael Thomas is in the mix. He doesn't really want to play with us. I'm pretty sure he's in free agency every single time that I've done that. Oh, yeah, right. The Saints have like negative cap, so we can't sign anyone. We actually have to go and free up some money because of how bad we are in cap. So let's go to team salaries and see where we can cut down on money. So Michael Thomas, we would save about $6 million. Will Lutz, we'd save about $3 million. Derek Carr, we'd save about $3 million. I can't believe that's not his contract. Okay. I might have to edit that because I don't think we were able to get the full contract in here. Jamal Williams, Cameron Jordan. I mean, you can't really save money anywhere on this team. So it's crazy that they're that far under the cap. But we'll sim to the end of the season. Hopefully it clears itself up. If need be, we do have to cut a ton of players to meet that cap. But let's see you at the end of the season. And in year number 1, we're able to make the playoffs. We go 9-8. And let's take a look at the stats for this year. Hopefully they're good. Derek Carr threw for 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Rushing, Alvin Kamara had 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. And Chris Olave had almost 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. Michael Thomas, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 755 yards, 4 touchdowns. So a very good year from him. Demario Davis, Bryan Bresee had 10 sacks. Cameron Jordan had 8. Nathan Shepard had 3. Let's look at interception. Marshawn Lattimore had 7. He's going to be going up to Superstar X Factor, no doubt. But that's really it for good stats. Let's see if we can win our first playoff game. I mean, it's our first season. The point is to rebuild this team, so we'll see if we're able to. And we lose 31-28. Not bad for our first season, but let's see if our salary cap fixes itself, which it looks like it does. It says we have $36 million available, which is nice. And to recap the 2022 season, Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Bryan Bresee wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for us, which is great. And the Eagles win the Super Bowl. But let's go see if we're able to re-sign some of these players now that we have a little bit of cap room. So we only have $15 million in cap. So it really doesn't make sense to go after any of these players that we have here and try to keep them. We could probably upgrade in some of these areas anyway through the draft. So I think we are just going to say no to re-signings, and we're just going to hop into free agency and see if there's anything we want, even though we really don't have the money to spend on them. So I've been looking around a little bit. I think we are going to sign at least one free agent. I think we're going to go and try to get Terrence Steele. He'd be fit in for our right guard spot. If he wants to be here, he wants to be here. If not, that's fine. But we don't have the lead right now, and let's see if we get him. We didn't get him. No big deal. It looks like we'll just go to the draft and see where we can upgrade. So here in the draft, I have a couple people that I want to go after. We really do need to try to get the best players available while also getting rid of some people that take up a lot of cap. And I really like these two players right here. They're round 1 to 2 talent. So we do have to go up into the first to try to get them. But I feel like it's not going to be that hard. I don't think we need to go up really early to get them. I think we can do like maybe 2 late round picks if possible. So we can throw in our second and then find a team that has a pick in like pick 28 is probably a decent pick for that. It's almost about to go through. I think if we throw in a 5th, that could be good for us. Maybe not. I think let's look at trying to get away from some of these guys like Jameis Winston. I mean, he has a cap hit of 4.4 million, and I just don't think it makes sense to keep him around. I think a second in Jameis Winston to the Bengals makes sense to go up to try to grab him. It's a done deal, and we do get a first round pick. We're going to try to get another one here. I don't know how possible it's going to be. We may want to try to give up our first next year to get a first this year and somebody, but we don't really have the cap for it. So let's take a look at who all is making a lot of money. Taysom Hill making 9.9 million and doesn't really play a huge role on the team when it comes to like in Madden. Like I know in real life he plays a really big role, but in Madden it just doesn't make sense. I mean, could we just trade this straight up, Taysom Hill for Ed Oliver? No. I mean, that gets them barely over the cap. Let's find a team who really needs... The Cardinals want Taysom Hill. They got pick 25. Probably not going to happen. Yeah, not even close. I think we do. I mean, I think we just got to get rid of him at this point. Let's see. Can we get like a 3rd for him? Because if we can get a 3rd, we can flip it. And that's not really going to go through. I think if we threw our 5th in there, we get a 5th, and Taysom Hill can get us a 3rd. It's a done deal. We get ourselves another 3rd in this draft, which I personally like that. Having more picks, especially with a team that doesn't have a lot of cap space, it's just nicer to go get rookies. I don't know what we're going to do. I think we just have to pick one of these players out of the 2 that I want. It's Josh Barrington and Caleb Johnston, a right outside linebacker and a corner. I think we skip on the corner and we go with Josh Barrington unless Josh Barrington isn't there at this pick. That would suck, but it just doesn't make sense to try to trade up for a guy. They're both here, sadly. I think if he falls further in, Josh Barrington, right outside linebacker, 87 speed. Very nice. I think if Caleb Johnston falls to like mid-second, I'll go up and get him, but I don't think he will. So I'm just going to skip to the next user pick, and we're going to try to get a couple other guys. On the clock I want to see if we can get a guard. There was a couple that I was looking at. The last guy on my board is available, though, Gio Ponadexter, but he's around 3 to 4 talent. We don't really want to go after him yet. I think if we try to go get a center and just move him over to guard, that would probably be better. This guy has A to C awareness, A impact block, D pass block, but it is what it is. Hopefully he's like maybe a 68 overall, 60, 69. Just anything really helps us. The New Orleans Saints. Now and with this pick, we're going to go Gio Ponadexter, and that's the end of our picks for this draft. So we're just going to go look at what the team looks like. But he does have hidden development with 96 speed. That's really good. So this is what the team's going to look like going into year number 2. Gio Poindexter, he's going to be our wide receiver 2. I want to try to upgrade him. Derek Carr is going to be our quarterback. Not really anything crazy there. We still have Alvin Kamara up to a 91. This offensive line is looking better already. We really do need to try to get some tight ends here. But other than that, they look fine. Our defense is really what changed because we have just solid talent throughout the defense here. I mean, it'd be nice to get a right end and a D tackle too, but for right now, I think we're in a really good spot, and I think this team could make the playoffs again, but it's too easy right now for this team. I think this defense is going to carry. So we're going to go to the midseason mark and see if I'm correct. And we are 4-2, which is very, very good. I want to take a look to see how this defense is doing and where we rank in the NFL, because I want to see if that's really what's carrying. 24 for offensive yards. So yeah, it must be our defense. Second overall for defense. Let's take a look to see if our rookie got his dev trait figured out or not. I don't normally do this in rebuilds. I kind of forget, to be honest, and I just see it at the end of the season. But no, he still has hidden development. How many snaps has he played? Only 166? I feel like he's not being put in the right spots to figure it out. Because Bryan Bresee's rush D tackle, he should probably play rush end, in my opinion. I do need to figure out the depth chart a little bit. I'll show you this real quick. Because, I mean, the team's doing good right now, so I don't really want to mess it up. But I also want the players to develop that I need to be developed. So, like, for sub linebacker, where's the rookie we got? He's a 71 overall. Like, he could go slot in there. What about rush right end? Only a 24. Where's the rookie we got? He's a 69 overall in that spot. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Let's throw him in there. Let him develop. And Gio Poindexter, 69 overall slot receiver. We're going to throw him in the slot. And we're going to sim to the end of the season. And hopefully we make the playoffs. You never know with this game. You could have a really good first half of the season, but not second half. So we'll see. So we don't make the playoffs, going 9-8, just like the Falcons. But because we lost to them in Week 18, we don't make the playoffs. That is so shit, but it's fine. Let's see how this team did. Derek Carr had a better season, 4,200 yards, but 33 touchdowns to 16 interceptions is probably why we didn't make the playoffs. Alvin Kamara with 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, a very good season from him. Chris Olave, 986 yards to 6 touchdowns. But Alvin Kamara with 880 yards and 7 touchdowns is crazy. Gio Poindexter had a terrible season, so we're definitely going to be going a different route with him. Foster Moreau had 700 yards, which was not expected. But let's take a look at our defensive stats, because that was the best part of this team apparently. 10.5 sacks for Bryan Bresee, 7.5 for Cam Jordan, 3.5 for Josh Barrington, and interception-wise, Demario Davis with 4, Tyron Matthew with 4, Paulson Adebo with 3. And did we get any touchdowns? That is something I want to know. I don't think anyone gets touchdowns in this game. I'm not going to lie to you. But let's see where we can upgrade on this offseason. I don't know what to do because obviously Derek Carr isn't really him, but we don't really have a first-round pick. So we have to figure that out. So I'll see you when I figure it out. No Saints won anything for the yearly awards, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Not really that shocked, but let's go to re-signings and see if we have any money. So here we have our re-signings that we need to do. Cam Jordan, Traquan Smith, Will Lutz, Cesar Ruiz is definitely someone that we want to bring back. He's part of the offensive line who helped Alvin Kamara go crazy this season. So we definitely want to keep him around. Foster Moreau had a good season, but tight end is definitely a place I need to upgrade at. Carl Granderson, not really interested, not really good overall. James Washington, same thing. Brian Edwards, probably should try to keep him around. He went up to star. I don't know if he had that before, but he's only 25, so maybe a 3-year deal, see if he wants that. Not interested. Maybe we can get someone better in free agency. I think I am going to let most of these guys walk. I think a lot of them are eating into our cap, and we don't really need them. None of them are starters on this team. So let's go to free agency. So I think we need to go with Justin Herbert here. I mean, the thought process is that Derek Carr is just is literally just a bridge quarterback to get to the next best guy. And if we can get the next best guy right now, then I think we should do that. And we could also get Ed Oliver, fill out our defensive line even more. We do need a tight end, and I think Hunter Henry would be a good option, but I think we got to go with more of the lower options. I think we should bring back Foster Moreau. We have like 0 tight ends on the roster. So if we bring back Foster Moreau and then try to get a guy in free agency, I think that might work. But let's submit these offers, see if we get both the guys we're gunning for, and hopefully we do. We get Justin Herbert, so we just made our quarterback room tons better. But we get Justin Herbert, Ed Oliver, and Foster Moreau in one foul swoop, and I'm done spending money because I think I just spent over $60 million. So let's go to the draft and better this team so that we have a chance at winning a Super Bowl this year. So we're here in the draft, and I don't really see a big thing that we need.
The Saints are
when it comes to it.
clock.
Obviously, I want to get a right end because we need to fill the roster out a little bit. But my issue is I don't want to take one of the right ends on the board. It seems kind of like a weak class for it. So I'm going to review offers, and hopefully we can trade back. This is the 2024 draft pick. So we're looking to get another 2024 pick, a second round pick for that, a 2024 sixth, and get a 3rd and 6th next year. I think that just makes sense to do that because it's not trading back
Ladies
a
and
ton.
gentlemen, we have a trade.
We literally go back one spot and we get a
The
3rd and
New
4th
Orleans
next
Saints
year.
are now on the
So
clock.
I think I'm going to trade this pick away as well. I'm looking for a pick more in like the later 20s, I think. So we're going to hope for that. I mean, 15 would be perfect, and we get a 2nd round pick. So I'm going to do this trade with the
There
Bucks,
has been
and then we're going
a
to trade
trade.
back, and then we're going to skip to that pick, and
On
we're
the
going to pick
clock
the
now,
guy that I
the
want
New
here.
Orleans Saints.
If he went, that's going to be crazy, but he was around 1 to 2 talent, and I didn't favorite him. I thought everyone on my board went. I am an idiot sometimes. But Bryson Goody is going to be the guy that I'm going after. A block shedding, D finesse move, so another one-trick pony, but they can be good sometimes.
On the clock
75
now,
speed,
it's
90
the
strength,
Denver
hidden
Broncos.
development is really nice, so that will be good. Hopefully, it's not terrible pick in the future. Hopefully, it
It's
doesn't
the
become a
New Orleans
bust.
Saints
I don't really have
now
anything I
on the
want here.
clock.
I didn't even plan on having a 2nd round pick, so I think we're going to review offer because if you don't know what to do, most likely just trade back. It's probably your best case. And if anyone's giving up a 1st next year, I'll gladly take that, but no one is. I think a 2nd from the Bears next
The
year would be a
current
good pick.
Has been traded.
So we're just going to sim to our next pick in the 3rd round. I know exactly who I
With the
want,
next selection,
and he
the
should be
Saints
there.
are
He was
on the
around
clock.
3 to 4. So it's a wide receiver. And is he gone? His name's Austin Byrne. If he's this far down, I think this is him, but it says day 3 now. He must have went down in yeah, he went down how many? 19. Oh my gosh, he was higher up when I did the scouting on him.
The Las Vegas
Normal dev, so
Raiders
that's probably why he
are
was
on the
going
clock.
down. I probably should have listened to the game on that one. That's kind of a bust, in my opinion. Okay. That sucks. But
New Orleans Saints
let's try to
are
make
now
up for it
on
with
the
this
clock.
pick. I have a guy in mind. We needed tight end. I said I wanted to get a rookie, and so I'm thinking on this one that we go with someone in. Is he gone? Did he really go? His name is Matthew Barwin. Oh, there he is. I completely missed him. So he's projected an undrafted free agent. Did he go down as well? Maybe. He has hidden
With the
development
next
though.
pick,
A
the
blocking tight
Raiders
end
are on
archetype
the clock.
normally tend to be higher overalls. So we'll see. We'll see with him. We'll skip to the end of the draft. I don't really have any other draft picks I want to do, but let's see what the team is looking like going into year number 3. So this is what the team is going to be looking like going into year number 3. We have Justin Herbert as our quarterback, and Derek Carr as a backup. I'd say he's a very good backup. It looks like the CPU drafted a halfback, so we're very good on that. But Alvin Kamara went up to Superstar X Factor, which is nice. Pointed Dexter went up to Superstar. If he didn't have it, I actually think he had it, so he didn't really go up. And then Austin Brown is a 76 overall, playing up to a 77. And Barwin is a 70, playing up to a 70. So that's good. And, of course, this game glitches out again, and we get to see our left end that we got is a superstar. Everyone clap. Woohoo! We got a superstar in the draft. But the thing is, we already know that now, which sucks. But Bryan Bresee is a 90 overall X Factor. And Demario Davis is regressing, but is still an X Factor at an 82 overall. So that is very good from this team. And I think this team is better than the one we had last year. I mean, obviously it's better than the one we had last year. I do need to sign a punter and kicker in free agency. So let's do that real quick. And then we're going to sim to the mid-season mark and just see where we are. Tyler Bass is here, 80 overall, 1-year contract. Easy signing. And let's get a punter as well. Corey Borquez, or however you say his name, 80 overall. Sign him. We don't care. And let's get to the middle of the season. So at the mid-season mark, we're 4-3 again, and I did say this team is better than the last one we had, but they're not showing it right now. So hopefully they can turn it around in the second half of the season and make the playoffs, which is something the last team wasn't able to do. And we go 11-6, which is much better than we did our first season and our second season. So let's take a look at the stats to see how this team was able to play. Justin Herbert had 4,400 yards, 39 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. Not as good as we would have wanted, but decent nonetheless. Alvin Kamara still putting up good numbers, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Receiving, first 1,000-yard receiver is Chris Olave with 6 touchdowns. Austin Brown, 900 yards, 12 touchdowns. Foster Moreau, 700 yards, 11 touchdowns. Gio Poindexter, much better season from him, 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. And Alvin Kamara, almost 700 yards. So let's take a look at our sack leaders. Bryson Goody, our new left end, got 11 sacks. Ed Oliver with 8.5, Bryan Bresee with 5.5, and Peyton Turner with 4. Sack leader is Alante Taylor with 4, Marcus May with 3, Tyrann Mathieu with 3. Very solid numbers across the board, but let's see if we're able to beat the Seahawks in the playoffs. This would be the first time we're making it to the divisional in this rebuild, and that would be amazing. We beat them 41-29. We are now going against the Lions, who are only an 85 overall offense, and we do lose to them 35-28. So hopefully we're able to make it to the playoffs next year. Sometimes you have just iffy teams here and there, but we will see. And in 2024, Austin Brown wins Rookie of the Year, so I think he will be going up to at least star dev because of how well he played. Let's look at that real quick before I just assume. And it looks like he did. He went up to star dev. Wait. Am I seeing this right? The rookie that we got has Superstar X Factor. He was a 70 coming out of the draft. I didn't expect that at all. That is amazing. Did he get upgraded to it? He had like no yards, so he must have had it before. but that is crazy good. So he's definitely going to be our tight end of the future once Fabian Moreau steps away. But other than that, let's see if anything else changed about this team. Goody didn't win Defensive Player of the Year, which is really sad, but Turner went up to star dev, and Barrington went up to an 80 overall. Demario Davis went down to a 79, so it might be time to start looking for a middle linebacker, but let's see where we can upgrade, and we do have players we need to re-sign, so let's go re-sign them. And you know how I said we had Demario Davis? He retired. He retired after I said that. I simmed a little bit, and he's gone. So I was right in saying we need to find a person to fill his hole. So we really do need to now. I mean, it's going to happen. Tyrann Mathieu wants to stay here. We're going to give him a 2-year deal, see if he accepts that, and he's going to be back next season. Marcus May also wants to be here. He's 32, but he's also a superstar X Factor, so we'll keep him around as well. Pete Werner, definitely someone we want to keep around. Star development, 27 years old and 80 overall. Paulson Adebo, we'll keep him around as well. I mean, if these guys are interested in playing, I'm not going to say no to him. Andreas Pete, our left guard, 74 overall. I think we can upgrade on him, but we'll offer him a 1-year contract and see if he wants to stay. He's not interested. That's fine. No big deal. Peyton Turner just got star dev, wants to go somewhere else. We're going to let him. Derek Carr, we're not going to re-sign. Eno Benjamin, we're not going to re-sign. Bradley Roby, we're not going to re-sign. These other guys, I don't think we can we can re-sign them. I just don't want to. That's really what it comes down to it. We're going to find not better kickers and punters in the free agency, but cheaper. Let's say that. And I think we're going to let everyone on here walk. We're going to go to free agency, and we're going to spend some big money this year. So here in free agency, there's definitely some players that I want to get, but one of the biggest one is being Bobby Okereke. I think he can really fix our issue with linebacker right now. He is 29, so it's basically just putting a Band-Aid on it right now. I don't know how many people are interested in him. We'll find out when we scroll down to it. It looks like we're not winning yet, so we'll give him a player-friendly deal, see if the money kind of makes him want to play for us a little bit more. And it does. We are leading on Bobby Okereke. And we also need to try to fill in the hole of our left guard leaving us. So if we can get Christian Darrisaw, that would be much appreciated from him, because we can move him over to left guard, and he does want to play for us, which is nice. And let's see, I do kind of want to try to get a cornerback, like an 80 overall cornerback or something. Byron Jones doesn't really want to play here. He's also older. I think we're going to have to look in the draft for some of these guys. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So we're just going to see what the players that we have already put offers on say. Tyler Bass, we'll give him 4-year deal. See if he wants to be here. No one else is offering on him. And let's go with Blake Gilkin and see if he wants to be here. We'll give him a 3-year deal. Easy things happening. So let's send those through and see if we were able to get the guys we wanted. We got Christian Darrisaw, Tyler Bass, and Blake Gilkin, which does mean that we weren't able to get Bobby Okereke, who signs to the Lions. Is there any other middle linebackers in here that we want to try to get? TJ Edwards, let's put an offer in for him. If he wants to be here, he wants to be here, but if not, unfortunate. I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to sign here. We may have to get a guy in the draft, but let's go here. Yep, he doesn't sign. All good. So let's go to the draft and see how we can upgrade this team even more. Definitely a middle linebacker is something we need to look at. So in the draft, we are looking for a middle linebacker. I did find one named David Jefferson, who I do want to get, but he is a top talent. So top 15. He says round 1, so it means he's going to go from 5 to 20. And we do have a lot of second-round picks, so we're going to be able to package these two together and send them over to a team who has a higher pick than us. So basically any team really. Let's see if the Bengals will take this for the 9th round pick. Not close. I think this is the pick we're going to need. So I think I'll package a 3rd in there as well. I'm not really worried about losing those picks because we basically got them for free for being a crappy team with no player in mind, basically, for the 1st round. And they don't want to do that. So I don't think we'll go with them. Let's try to look for a 10th or something like that because I really don't want to give up more than that for a mid pick. So let's see. The Cardinals are willing to do that. I think if you throw a 3rd in there, done deal. It's close. I think we give them our next 3rd, the next best 3rd, and we get the 10th round pick. It's a done deal. So let's go get our middle linebacker of the future, David Jefferson, to hopefully step in for Demario Davis and play just as well, if not better. Because maybe he was the reason we didn't make a Super Bowl last year. You never really know. So let's go to the middle linebackers and pick up the man, the myth, the legend, David Jefferson. So he has normal development and 88 speed. That's kind of a bust in my opinion. I was hoping for hidden development at least, star dev. But it is what it is. You can't win everything. But one player I do want to look at is a wide receiver. Always looking to upgrade our wide receivers. Eddie Irons looked really good, and I think that is who we're going to go with. And hidden development, very, very good. That is what you're looking for. So let's see if we're able to get another player that I'm looking at in the 3rd round. It's a cornerback. We don't really need a corner. It's just I kind of want to see, just take a shot at someone, see if we can, get a good player out of it. Jamal Johnston isn't really that guy. And I mean, I didn't expect much from him. He's a late round pick, but you never know when you get a superstar X Factor late round pick like our last tight end. So let's see what the team is looking like going into year number 4. So going into year number 4, this is what the team is going to look like. We have Chris Olave, Austin Brown, and Eddie Irons, or whatever his name is, right here. I just drafted him. I forgot his name already. Kind of sucks. But we have Alvin Kamara. Our offensive line's looking really good. We also have a stud tight end. But we did get a random, star dev at least corner in the draft after we simmed it. So that's cool. We did need to look for a right end, but didn't get one. So that kind of sucks on my end. But other than that, this team is looking really solid. We did have to replace Demario Davis, who was like a 78 overall last year. So hopefully a 4 overall difference doesn't make a huge thing. But we're going to sim the midseason, and hopefully we're doing better than we were last season, and we can make a Super Bowl. And we are 7-0. So I'd say that is a really, really good start. So let's just skip to the end of the season, and maybe we can even go 17-0. I would be shocked, but it would be the first time I've ever gone 17-0 in a rebuild. So let's see. And we go 16-1, but we lose 1 game. So that sucks. We had the worst offensive pass yards per game, but this team was really solid other than that. So let's take a look at the stats and see why we did what we did. Because Justin Herbert didn't really do that well this season. Kind of poor if you ask me. Oh, that's probably why. Alvin Kamara, 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns. Receiving, Chris Olave, 930 yards, 5 touchdowns. Austin Brown, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. Eddie Irons, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Foster Moreau, 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amazing stats from them. The defense had to step it up as well. Yep, Bryan Bresee, 14 sacks. Bryson Goody with 12.5. Ed Oliver with 6.5. Isaiah Foskey with 5.5. 7 interceptions from Marshawn Lattimore. Not really anything else crazy there. But this team could definitely be first rounded. I feel like with the fact that our quarterback isn't playing that well, it's very possible. But Let's see if we're able to beat the 10-7 Dallas Cowboys to make it to the conference championship. And we do 30-27, and now we're going against the 10-7 Eagles to make it to the Super Bowl. Cross your fingers. Is it possible? We do 35-14. Let's get to the Super Bowl and see if we're able to beat the Dolphins and end this rebuild. And I'd say the star of this rebuild was Bryan Bresee, but let's hop in here and see if we're able to win it. So here we are in the Super Bowl, and hopefully we can win this game against Mike Daniels and the Dolphins. But let's sim to the end of the game and see what goes down. And we start off going down by 3, but we answer back with 3 points of our own. And we're driving down the field, score a touchdown. We get the ball back. It's going back and forth right now. The Dolphins score a touchdown on their own. Then we score 3 points. We get the ball back. We're driving down the field. Dolphins get the ball back. They're driving down the field. It's in the 4th quarter. We have the ball. The Dolphins have the ball now. And we win 13-10 against the Dolphins. That is amazing. Thank you guys for watching another rebuild. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. And also let me know down in the comments who you want me to rebuild next. Peace.